It says it's recording.
Where did it say that?
Right at the upper left hand.
Okay. Still 7:01. We'll call the meeting to order. Previous minutes, did everybody who was in attendance at the last meeting have a chance to look over the minutes?
Yes.
Was there amendments made?
No.
No amendments. You done good this time. In that case,
I make a motion to accept the meeting minutes as presented from the last meeting.
I'll second that.
motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Yeah.
Aye.
Abstain, Lance.
Lance is abstaining. Vote passes 3-0.
Yeah,
3-0. You don't count.
I don't think.
Lieutenant Michael Philippek.
It's not here.
He did say he was gonna come. Okay, we will keep that. Hopefully. Okay, so we'll leave that spot open. BCC,
It's gonna be ripping tonight, boy.
weird.
Works for me.
I'm scared. So,
Can you turn your mic on just so we can get the side notes on that?
Yeah. Sharon and
Pat?
Yeah. they have a grant contract that whoever the grant's through, I think it's the state, wants the select board to sign it.
Okay,
yeah, well, they sent on, I thought the BCC grant contract was with Alex. Alex
Yes,
proposed
Alex wants you to sign it. That's
Alex proposed, and unfortunately I printed it out at work and left it on my desk, so it's doing me a lot of good there. But in our emails, Alex sent out an email with a contract covering a grant proposal for the BCC. Off the top of my head, it was $60 an hour, which is in the realm that we were paying them for ours. He had a minimum of 4 hours, bills in quarter-hour increments.
at a minimum of 4 hours billed in quarter-hour increments. Okay,
Minimum of 4 hours. and
Okay.
his bill will be in quarter-hour increments.
okay,
You
okay,
know, if they take 10 minutes, you're paying 15.
yes, okay. No, I just,
No, if it takes 10 minutes, we're paying 4 hours.
Well, okay, past the first 4 hours. Good God. He did break out a few things. I did have a question regarding Alex.
okay,
I know that last meeting, we discussed in depth the contractors and having to sign certain forms regarding workers' comp.
yes,
And you know, I've been thinking about Alex. One of the things that Vera said to us during the meeting was, you know, they have to work on one of our sites. Alex doesn't work at the town building or any other building. So I don't know if he really fits under the requirements that she was putting forth. I was hoping she'd be here tonight just to clarify. I know she was taking away and going to speak to a few different organizations. I believe VLCT was one of them, regarding people who did not work on site. Is it a requirement for that workers' comp piece?
okay.
like,
Right, so I think the workers' comp is only if injured on the job. So as far as somebody being on site, I mean, if you're working from home and you trip and fall and break your leg,
Right.
And
You're not a,
you're a town employee, but you're a self-contractor. It's not.
yeah, there's that whole package she
I think
wanted
we need
filled
to
out.
verify with
Yeah.
Vera.
Just something I was
Because
thinking.
that
I
is
need
the
to-
newest thing with workman's comp and all these people that are now working from home.
Okay,
Mhm.
so yeah, let's,
Like, that's part of why some of this is
an
being,
organization with its own insurance.
right.
That's why I think.
So and I think, does that insurance should cover more than just personal bodily harm? Like if he fills out information on the application and we were to get sued, him as the person of writing the grant and putting in false information would actually be the person that would be,
Right.
because our insurance would go after his insurance.
That's the E and O insurance he has to carry. That's a different animal, but she had that whole packet to fill out as well. So I'm just trying to figure out if she came back or received any form of answer from the organization she was
Okay.
reaching out to.
Can you touch base with her maybe this week via email?
I can, or-
She'll be at our next meeting.
Yeah,
Right,
That's
or
what-
Tammy, can you ask her
3
where
weeks
she's
away.
at with it? You see her more than I do.
I know, but I can ask her, but then I report to you.
Yeah,
Just let
just-
us know what.
yeah,
what
just
she-
send-
where She came out with it. Just send it out to the team here.
Okay,
Team awesome.
okay.
You be quiet back there, man.
team that's what he said. Okay. Mac, if you want to give us a roads report while we're waiting on visitors.
Maybe it'll just be the road report and we make the map.
Itch in your step, you all right? Yeah.
Well, I've got a couple.
Been done through, you just have to sign that.
Is that the access permit that we gave the preliminary sign off on? Yeah, okay.
Back page. Thank you.
Okay.
Access permit for the lawyers.
Anything crazy on the roads?
Just crappy weather.
Crappy weather, roads aren't frozen, so plowing's
It wasn't too bad this morning.
wasn't too bad.
I was surprised.
And the new hires catching on. Good, good, good.
No, it's been pretty quiet, actually.
You better find some wood to knock on.
That's press board. It used to be wood at one time. Close enough.
Issued on.
Could go over and knock on Lance's head, but. Huh. Nothing for road report? 0, -5? All right. You know, it's just.
Final approval.
Driving me crazy for a couple
Oh,
months.
she had some-
I figured out, I guess, what that was, and tightened a couple bolts and.
I thought she had a question.
How about how about our available sand and such for the
Yeah.
roads? We good? We all stocked up for the winter?
Yes, this one, no one wear it.
Pile down there. We haven't got to a point where we usually dump a pile for the people you use, but that usually comes to Mark.
You don't have that.
Truck in the morning and salt, we'll dump it in a pile and
Right.
that's where we, and then it just keeps adding up, so.
Okay.
We did have a cable break on our overhead door last week. That bill's not in there yet. And then today it came off the drum on the other side. So I did get a price from Champlain Door when they came up.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
25 a piece. No, more than that. With openers and
3 doors, 3 openers, 18.
1,000. Wow,
Six grand a door.
Dan seemed to think the last time I think we priced it a year or two ago. He seemed to think it was like 10 to 12 right then. So,
18,000?
yeah.
for 3 doors,
Three
yeah.
doors.
But that actually makes sense the way that
I,
the
Right.
price.
Yeah.
I'm not really surprised.
I guess it's been a while since I looked at a overhead door of that
So
size.
two of them are not big. The one, on the greater section, that's a big door, but the other two aren't.
In the greater section doors that needs replacing too, or- yeah, okay.
It got run into, must have been 15 at least years ago now, Alan had the loader parked there, or not greater, and then the door, the middle door, it got backed into with a York rake this summer. And there's a dent in it, broke a couple of double pane glass, broke one of the, 2 of the panes on the inside, but it's still,
Still keeps the weather out.
That happened.
He,
don't look at me.
I'm not. I'm
Okay.
not.
he alluded to that if you were watching him when he,
Oh.
No. I was like,
How old is that door?
They're, 90. They're
I mean,
all 3 of them were put in at the same time.
from what I've seen, they're in rough shape anyway.
A couple of panels have been replaced.
Yeah.
Plow went through one of them. We put 2 panels on that side and then, of course, being in the salt, it just eats that
Just-
stuff right up.
I hope that York break incident doesn't happen to a new door, that's all.
I don't think it would. Didn't work any.
I have a grant. The GA 0250. $31,000 grant we got for working on the ditches and stuff. Grant extension that you need to sign there.
Just me?
Yep, just you. You signed the original agreement. You're the only one that needs to sign that. You're listed as the town grantee. That's correct.
Is this anything that we want to look into?
Let's work with those four.
With the better
signs.
roads grant.
Thank you. The signs.
Oh, yeah.
in Boston.
Yes.
Nice
Yep.
work with that.
I don't-
Nice that they're at the right height.
I don't think they're helping any.
You know, I don't.
You know what?
Well,
People's,
some
people,
Facebook,
people are seeing them. Which means it's getting attention and that's, you know, that's half the battle. The ones that are gonna. You know, slow down and be more cautious and actually see the signs are doing that.
Right.
And the ones that are gonna do 60 miles an hour, well, hopefully
They're gonna do it anyhow.
Lieutenant
60,
Michael
70.
Philippek shows up. And we can discuss some of that with him.
don't put him on Boston Post.
First place I'm gonna put him.
Mac just, sorry,
Sorry.
Josh just handed me a grant that, I think you should take a look at.
For,
Maintenance cost, it's a Better Roads grant.
okay.
Bad roads grant,
Better.
Better.
better
Roads.
roads grant.
Yeah.
Is that not the one that we got the cedar through? The Better Roads grant for ditching and
I think it's the same as this one, but yeah, they're all intertwined.
they're all intertwined.
It's,
Through,
correction of road related erosion problems, correction of stream bank, lake shore, which we don't have so much of, slope related problems. And replacement of culverts equal to or larger than 36 inches, up to 60,000, so. It would be worth looking into.
Mac, just to not comparing your guys' work to anybody else's or anything, I was just curious if you've noticed. When you go over to Valancourt's, do you guys take the back way, like up Tyler Branch Road?
not.
Okay, if you go over there and you swing up, right there by Patrick Valancourt's barn. Fairly substantial slope right there, but they put in the fabric, sprayed the grass over it, and then every, I don't know, I'd say 50 feet or so, they made a little stone dam
Ditch.
in the
Yeah.
ditch.
Oh, yeah.
Stone
Yeah.
Neck Dam.
They're
Sometimes it's-
So
deceleration.
now can that
They're
take
called
the place?
deceleration
Right,
dams.
right. Now, can that take the place of like a stone lined ditch
Usually do it with
In
stone.
conjunction with,
in conjunction with, but this one's not stone lined, it's just fabric.
it should be by the slope.
Yeah, I would assume this slopes over the,
Fabric out that will take care of that.
that may be something to look into. This looked, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, they didn't have their full crew. I think there was 2 guys working on it and
Right.
it seemed, it looks nice
Yeah.
now, you know, I
Does
mean,
he have outs? Or does it go all the way? to the
it's
bottom?
gotta go all the way around because of the way that pitches. Yep. But yeah, it looks. I just saw it and I was like, I wonder.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen it on our road, so I wasn't sure if it was something new that they were trying or if it was something that could,
Fabric and dam, right.
Yeah.
We have not tried that one. We tried, you know, the stone check dam.
Yeah, yeah.
Stone line ditch.
Yep.
but-
just wasn't sure if that would save us money or not, and
Oh, definitely.
yeah, so you know,
We don't have to truck stone from Innisford.
yeah, well, I mean, that was the thing, is I think they did.
I mean,
Like the entire Tyler Branch Road with maybe half a load of stone,
right.
and he was just scooping it out of the back with the truck and.
Yep.
There's a little bit of hand placement of the stones, you know, just to make it look nice, but it seemed a lot less. Product being used, which that's the name of the game, right?
Fabric probably. cheap,
Labor
but
savings.
Yeah, labor savings, yeah,
It's probably cheaper. than stone, likely.
right, so, no, I just, if you go that way and you get a chance and look and see if it's, or ask Joey if it's that special fabric or not, but I just. Anytime I go on a back road and I see something different,
Yeah.
That's what we rode on.
it wasn't, no, this was, that's my bus route,
Yeah.
and they did it without signs. So when I came down around that corner,
Oops.
they had the excavator sitting in the road just past Patrick Valancourt's house. You know, his mother's old place there, and it's a good thing I stopped just before that, because Usually when I come down around that corner, there's no grass growing under the tires, so.
Our excavator at this present time is in the dip down by Whitney's.
Yep.
Remember that culvert we looked at?
Yep,
And I'm talking about having, I'm gonna get Tyler to probably look at it this year,
Yep.
this winter and write up a proposal
Yep.
for the structured grant. That way, I think we can get that one done. The 6-foot cement culvert. You had it plugged.
yeah, I see they've they've rerouted that whole brook down through there,
Well, this was.
Where, just past?
right at the
What
bottom,
was-
yeah,
First big dip.
yeah.
Big dip, there's a 6-foot cement in
Cause
it.
you used to be able to drive out there to the left,
Yeah, well, they've done some. Mark went
They
down,
took the road out.
So we had Josh bring it down there. He brought it actually Wednesday afternoon.
Okay.
Mark just went down, screwing around on Thanksgiving and said, well, I'll just, pull it out, see if I can get it pulled out. So he rode down there, he says, it's gone. Don't know, nobody touched it, it just blew out.
okay,
So he dug out the lower one on the Dolan farm.
yep,
And that's where that sits right now.
well. Natural consequences of lots of water, we like that,
Well, it should have happened about 20 minutes earlier, or half hour.
Yeah.
However, I thought maybe.
did it come over the road or?
No.
No,
It didn't go that, high, but it was water going through it, but I mean, they had some pretty good alders and
Yeah.
stuff. Up that culvert.
I stopped there the other day. And
That night, busted.
it's not my bus route, no, but, yeah, it looked like there was,
You've already filled your tag too.
that doesn't mean you can't go for a ride. Yeah, it looked like it was getting iffy.
Yeah.
Yep, so,
Yeah, so I'm gonna have Tyler. I figure out, I don't know what we got in the bridge account, but it's, I believe an 80-20 split on those, structured grant, same as
Yep.
paving. So I think if we got Tyler's engineering into it, it would be probably at least the 20%. If not, we could always,
we should have sent him down there instead of the one up there in East Bakersfield.
we didn't send him up there.
Yeah, I know,
That's,
Fish and Wildlife, yeah, I know.
On a side note, I guess I gotta apologize if you hear, if you catch a whiff of skunk, I guess it's me.
okay.
Smoking
I
again?
was just saying,
No, I wasn't gonna say it.
Brian's dog got sprayed right outside the camp door and
Oh, nice.
attaboy.
yeah, and it permeated the cabin and the clothes and I
Oh,
just threw
man.
this vest on and just going.
It must be tight too, because I don't smell it.
I don't either.
No. I'm gonna jump on to new mail just because I see we got a couple things here that are,
What about over by Paul Pools? Did you get
Oops.
that looking better?
It looked better because the leaves are off and everything.
yeah, it's fell back down.
We have not
I-
been over there yet.
I actually drove by there during deer season and I thought you guys had been over there because it
The only
does look
thing I think
better.
That really needs to be done is the spears that are sticking up, because they do look like
Yep.
spears.
Yeah.
For the rest of it.
But because I had the same concern you did when when I drove by there after the leaves had gone off, it does look better. I mean, I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it looks better.
Right.
Do you have any other questions on road?
Nope.
Nope.
I had not had a chance to go over by. And I had another phone call, so.
Had or
somebody-
hadn't.
I didn't get another phone call, but somebody at the garage the other day asked me about it. Said our excavator was sitting over there. I'm like. I'll keep checking it.
I hadn't seen the excavator over there. I was probably just down by the pit.
Pit, yeah.
Yeah, well, you probably paddled it out for Jarvis's. You paddle it out for Jarvis's?
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh,
and they probably saw it out there, I thought. So I do have we'll in the pit.
It does stay there.
figure out the safest thing, lock the gate, and
Oh, yeah, right.
like I said, right now, it's down, there, you just haven't had to move back.
Just make sure the gate's locked.
Just be careful about being down that way
Well, it is now.
with anything.
Opening day of rifle season, it was wide open. Just say, it. I hung over there. I'm not bashful about that.
At least you didn't have to stop and open the gate.
No, I wouldn't have to anyway. You can walk around it and take side by side around the left hand side there.
Want that in the minutes?
It's good.
It's common knowledge, because there's a beaten path.
Ah,
Maybe we should take that excavator and move that boulder or four. Or four. I mean,
Post it.
I don't mind
Gonna
people
work,
walking
yeah.
out there, but
It ain't gonna work.
Yeah, I mean, it is a liability issue letting them through the four wheelers.
yeah. So we have a couple of things. We have we got a notification from the Burlington Free Press saying that our job listing for the treasurer position is about to expire.
Let it expire.
Well, we don't have anybody.
It's not doing us any good to advertise.
Well, actually, we have an applicant.
There,
Um,
finally.
Bernadette Purvis.
Purvis?
Purvis. I don't know. That's very interested in moving back home to Vermont.
Don't think for that job.
MD, that's Maryland. So she lives in Maryland.
Pretty much
Well,
just retail stuff.
Yeah, a lot of retail stuff, but I mean, if they're looking for part-time,
Oh, she's looking for part-time?
she's looking for a reason to move back this way.
Where is she from?
Maryland.
No, but.
She
here,
graduated
where-
from UVM. Like in the. early-
But not from like
Are you done
Bakersfield.
with the warrants, Terry?
Huh?
Are you done with the warrants?
No, I have a question on one.
Is
I'll pass them on to the rest of us, please.
is it a road one?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
You look to figure out what your question is.
Which one?
Well, the ones you didn't sign.
Don't tell me. I want to
Which
figure it
one is
out.
Gingers,
Pardon?
gingers.
Okay.
Oh, thanks for. telling me.
Diesel emissions, interested in upgrading any equipment. All of ours is emission compliant already, so we're good there. This
I need
goes
to
with the,
research if the house I fell in love with 30 years ago is still there.
well, it's probably still there, but I have
Yeah, 16.
I've got
I'm
two
surprised.
Right?
things here, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Did you get those things in the front there that I've stuck in there about the beacon or the crosswalk?
Yes, they're right here. We'll go over that. Maybe that's roads, but is this the one that was?
Maybe Fairfax area?
Yeah, that's,
Stewart Construction.
that's the one that, the cemetery commission sent to Lyle. Lyle made sure I had a copy.
Okay. Well, it was just addressed to the select board, sorry.
Did you see this?
I'm sorry, what's this?
That's the letter the cemetery commission sent to Lyle William. Inserting the hearse.
Didn't I see this, the last meeting? I
It
believe they
would have
sent
been,
this.
yes, the last meeting.
So,
Is it?
Really?
sorry.
Yeah,
Oh, I know. I know, that's what I mean. It was a little interesting.
I expected this.
It was
Yeah,
like most of them are
Um,
like not.
And
like-
this says
I'm gonna let everybody look at it.
very much to do with this.
Yes, I heard some of the backstory. I didn't hear the whole story. This is the applicant for the treasurer position. Do you want to hand me those two right there? So Terry can look at
Yep.
those. Well,
Absolutely.
so this was. Very passive aggressive and then led to this.
Now, wait,
I thought I had more stuff in the air.
this is to Lyle. from
Correct,
them?
yes.
Yeah,
So some of you might not have been aware, but after our meeting after our last meeting, I received a phone call Tuesday morning at approximately,
I disagree with their very first.
yes, the whole thing is like
Yeah.
that. I received a phone call or email. What was it? Phone call and email?
From here.
Yeah, Tuesday morning, approximately 9:30, 10 o'clock. Telling me that Lyle Willie was trying to access
Oh, yeah.
the building over here to get the tree stuff out for the lighting of the I don't want to say cemetery, of the park.
Oh, the park, yeah.
Yeah,
It's different.
And
he also contacted me.
yes, and the locks had been changed.
By
Uh,
who?
That was changed by Linda. Because I spoke to her on the phone regarding the lock change. I didn't realize it was for the stuff for the Christmas trees. And Linda and I had a conversation about that on the phone for a little bit. And she stated she changed the locks because she was, a lot of people like keys and there's a section of the floor missing. And when she went in, you know, someone could fall into it. She said the wood is there. I said, why didn't anyone lay the wood back over the opening then? But she said that for safety reasons, she changed the locks. I said, well, we're gonna need the keys. They need a copy of the keys here at the town building. We just can't have, you know, someone change the locks. Cause I'll be honest, I talked to Mac. I said, go get the bolt cutters and cut it off or a grinder.
That
I
was,
said, I don't know who did it.
that
General
was,
consensus.
Yeah,
that was
said,
the
I
same
don't know
thing I
who
said
did
when they
it.
called me.
Yeah, I
Got it.
don't know who did it at the time. I said, but whomever it was, they didn't have
We really,
inform anyone.
I'm really irritated with this whole thing. Because it really, we need to, as a select board, really put this in check because it just keeps going back and forth, back and forth. Who does, who doesn't, who should, who shouldn't? And I don't understand why they want such big ownership now of that one little building out there.
It's not ownership.
Oh,
They ma-
no,
They make
because
that clear. They want executive usage. Is that a good way to put that?
Well,
Executive decision power.
Right, which they're,
they're not going to.
well, it states that right in the letter that she gave us at the last meeting,
Right.
that it's our building that they oversee.
They oversee the building. And it was a safety concern she had is how she presented it, which I thought was a good way to present the issue.
Well, it's sad that we have to say, no, we're taking that. We're not doing that. Because now it's becoming this, it's becoming a control thing. That's what it's becoming, is a control thing.
It's already there.
And so unfortunately, we are the ones that own it. So we'll control it then.
The town owns it.
Exactly,
Correct.
the town.
That's where the sticking point is. Some people have a hard time separating the select board. And the select board as a representative of the town.
Exactly.
We are the select board representing the town. The select board itself is an ever-changing body of people. And we represent the wishes and goodwill of the town of Bakersfield. We, as an entity, do not own the building.
No,
Right.
taxpayers own anything that the town.
Right,
They just have
so,
us representing. them.
right, so what the
they
argument
say as
was,
Town fathers,
what the argument was at the last
is that an
meeting
old term or what?
is that the
And
cemetery commission is equal in their rights and responsibilities to the town as the select board.
Mhm.
Voted upon by the community to represent the cemetery commission.
To represent the cemetery.
Correct.
Keyword.
Right. Which in turn, per the information that we've got from League of Cities and Towns, encompasses the Hearst House. Okay. So their argument, right, wrong, or indifferent, their argument is that they and the select board are seen as equals in the control and determination of what
Oversight.
happens,
Oversight.
oversight of the cemetery and Hearst House. Okay, so there's ours. It's neither.
It's the towns.
They didn't feel that way a few months ago.
Right, that's why it was specified at the last meeting that any monies that would be put into this project would have to be budgeted.
Right.
Okay, they can't just come to us and say, we need money. No, it needs to be budgeted and put into the cemetery commission. That needs to be voted on by the town.
Right.
In order for them to get said monies.
Correct.
So if they're asking for $50,000, $100,000, whatever it takes. They need to come to the town meeting with that in their budget and be willing to stand up in front of the town and specify what it's for and why it's needed.
Mhm.
So I think we're past that point, Terry. I'm not trying to say that what you're saying is wrong or anything like that. I'm just saying that,
What's made me mad about it is the fact that we were approached that we cannot use one dime of our money for anything on that park.
Mhm.
And we said, okay, we accept that. This is the line. They wanted to identify that line. And we were told then that Hearst House is not our problem, it's your problem. Okay, all right, so we took on that.
And I agree that that is in the minutes.
And then until it wasn't going one person's way, I don't believe it's the whole committee, I think it's one person. Then we started doing all this backtracking. Oh, well, I wanted it to be a smooth transition. So let's take 2 years to make that transition. Why did they have such a problem with that park looking so beautiful at Christmas time?
they don't, what,
They do.
well, yeah, or maybe they do. I'm not sure.
And that's what irritates me. You come in here and you tell me that, no, that's owned by the town. Well, this gentleman is part of our town and
Absolutely,
he's also a taxpayer.
absolutely.
So
That's why,
he has just as much rights as you and I and her.
that's why Mr. Newitt was given the okay to unlock the
Exactly.
building at whatever cost. But it didn't have to go to that point, so we're happy for that. Continue reading that. Just know that
Did,
there are some things that happened that will not.
point of clarification. Jeff,
Yes, sir.
Did the lock actually get cut?
No, it did not.
No, it's the keys.
They came over and yes, they came
Nice,
over and.
nice.
The question is,
So
did we
she
get a
did,
copy
she
of the
did
key?
show cooperation.
Yes.
She just needed notification.
Did we get a copy of the key?
Spring.
We still
Not
don't
yet.
have a copy of the key. Well, that's problematic. It was supposed to be that next. Yeah, it was supposed to be Monday a week ago. So we need to follow up on where the key is, because we're still in the same boat.
Since you made the initial, would you like to follow up on that?
I'll do my best to get in touch with Linda. and ask her
If
to
not,
do
just
it.
let me know and
Yeah, no, I don't have a problem calling Linda.
I agree with Terry. I would also like, I don't object to the cost of this. I know it's a little stepping out, but I would just like some clarification as to the expense for Ginger.
Well, first of all,
sorry, I shut you
the
off. when you
reason
were
I
reading.
question it is,
It's out of order. I'm just.
That's-
no, my one thing I'm questioning with it is one, is that a paid position? Because I've never known it to be a
Yes,
paid
yes,
position.
yes,
It
it
is a
always
paid
has been,
position.
yeah.
So it's already got an amount of $20 an hour for that position
Yes.
Yes,
in the,
In the,
okay.
should be in the book
Yeah.
somewhere, yes.
I would just like to know what she, I guess
I think this is all of the stuff to, to go over to.
Yeah,
Oh, you weren't here at the last meeting. I apologize. So at the last meeting, we had Mr. Barnes here. The,
It's the old Judd
the
House.
same problem,
Okay,
the same
gotcha.
property that we.
Yep.
She did a lot of work.
She's done a lot of work to.
Which I'll sign it.
I
now.
get, except for we need more identified times and dates. We can't just do I spent.
I agree.
hours at
I agree. We just need
an hour.
something that states,
Yeah,
what
because
you
when it
did.
comes time for auditors,
Yep. That is a simple request to be made.
yep.
Do
I
we,
didn't know if it was paid or unpaid.
How every other organization or people get $20 to $25 an hour and the select board gets $10 an hour at best. Or less.
Get that?
Otherwise,
Meeting, so if you have a half-hour meeting.
I
you got
think
8
the
bucks
list,
an hour.
I think the listers have to make that change.
Yeah, I
that
think
is
it's the auditor.
correct.
The listers are the auditor.
When the select board sets the lister's salary or wage. And the listers set the select board's salary or wage.
We basically set everybody's salary.
What-
$20 per meeting.
Commission.
They should get something for a meeting,
I'm surprised the planning commission doesn't get anything.
you
for
know,
them.
because we've got to revise that whole town plan.
Yeah, there's only 3 of them. Here you go.
Oh,
I just pointed that
Get that one
out.
back.
$20 a meeting.
40.
for you.
We're not signing this
Thought it was
until.
40 for everybody.
No, so just a chair.
Oh.
Congratulations.
So you want it?
For him, 40
Ah.
for you guys.
I'll take it.
Oh, yeah, you guys get 40.
You get 40 in a,
40.
Yeah, you do.
40 a meeting.
When?
What's the chair guy?
45.
Meeting,
Oh.
You get $40.
I get an extra $5. That's
I
like,
think I got last year.
what is that, like 10 cents a meeting?
$3.
Or 10 cents an hour?
And John-
There's a reason I gave up the chair.
So anywho, huh?
Sorry, so that covers new mail to an extent. I don't really want to jump onto these flashing crosswalk things.
Yeah. I had a
What did you,
question
you
regarding
print us
this.
a book here or
It's
what?
the regulation on all the road piece. They sent,
Sent me.
Tommy killed a tree here.
That's perfect. Keep them flopping.
So this one here,
It's called.
you guys
Beacon.
signed, but we want to pull that.
No, so what we said is, or what we'll ask her is for the dates and hours.
Dates and hours. I know, she was here for the last meeting and I know that by the sound of it, she put.
Been running around like
She said she has to.
It's just. I'm just thinking,
Yeah.
Like it.
Now I'm
I just
logged.
don't like to sign things that aren't right.
Don't want to lose a health officer.
Right. So Josh, with regards to these.
Whether she did it or not, it's just the way it's been written up is not kosher. And I don't know why she would have been allowed to leave it like that.
Yeah. I think
maybe
what we
she
have to
just
do is
sent
set the
it to
Terry, I agree completely. We need to set the precedence that everyone else has to show day and time. If you look through there, I don't know about what, and he's new. But I don't know if the zoning board broke it out, but almost everyone else has a list. This is the days, these are
You
the
bring it up
times.
This time.
Yeah.
I think what has to happen is everybody needs to break it out in order to get reality.
I don't think it's an unreasonable request either.
We just kick back to Ginger to please give us some more detailed.
Yeah, give them a sheet like Tammy's.
Right, Tammy's got everything there and she's got several sheets. So,
People different.
I know. So, regarding the solar flashing crosswalks, I found it interesting in here. Of course, the state would tell us it's going to be our bill to pay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And they have some regulations on page 30 on what we have to do and or how we do it. But it's pretty much our responsibility to buy, install and maintain.
Now, question,
yes, sir.
how much do these signs cost?
Thank you, because that was my follow-up question. I had no idea what this sign costs to put one on each.
I
side.
thought it was in one of the emails, wasn't it?
No.
I haven't seen a price on it yet. I could be wrong.
I think it's a hell of an idea. I mean,
Uh,
people go speeding through there.
I just see I see what it does to Enosburg traffic. Like when I pull out at the end of the day and I pull out and turn, I can be on one end of town. And when they hit the lights at the opposite end of town, you can see the effects,
Slow down.
everybody slows down or stops and it's,
So, I'm gonna be naive because, when I see people, I slow down anyhow when they cross the street, whether it's this flashing light or not.
Yeah.
Is that crosswalk really, like the pictures they show of the crosswalk,
So
is that
are you-
really
just
well marked to
clarifying, are
begin
you
with?
yes.
now
It is well
want
marked
them-
and
Yeah.
and it's visible?
you want
Yeah,
them-
there are sloping egresses from the curbs
John has something.
and white hashes across, yeah.
They have the bumps there for the blind people. The-
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
Protection plates.
yeah.
I would say we need to get a price and figure it out. I mean, it's great. It's a wonderful read. We don't know what it costs.
Myself.
They have been in St. Albans all over the place now.
Same thing with Enosburg, yeah.
Well,
Hasn't that okay? Yeah.
they're down in Burlington, they're South Burlington, they're literally putting these things in. the
Well,
middle
I'll
of
tell
the
you
road.
what, I would have liked to seen one tonight in Fairfield Center.
Yeah.
Because there's
don't
no
live there.
light on that four corners
Yeah.
and two young girls in dark clothing
Oh,
come across that sidewalk. Come across there's a crosswalk there,
Yeah,
but there's nothing lighting it up.
right. That's
Um,
scary. Someone's gonna get.
yes.
Yeah.
I don't know, Tammy, you're running the email chain on this one, correct?
Which one?
The solar crosswalks?
Yep.
Could you reach out to, give me a second,
Yep.
Ernie?
I think it's
And
Steven,
Okay.
Steven Stanley.
Stephen Stanley.
Well,
He's
they
the guy.
switched somewhere in the middle
Yeah,
here.
Ernie put her over to Steven.
Steven,
Well done.
Sign thing.
Second.
Well done.
Ernie directed.
Okay, well, could you reach out to Stephen Stanley
Yep.
and ask him who we might use to get quotes on such signs?
Okay,
The other person you might reach out to is Gary Denton
okay,
over at Enosburg.
uh-huh,
He would have a pretty good idea as to who they used.
okay.
If not, he could at least put you in touch with the town manager over there and they would know who to,
Or Stanley.
or Stan, yeah, I mean. I just think if Stanley gives us one person and Denton gives us another, we can get some quotes from some different people and
Right.
maybe in the spring, put up a sign, cause I don't think
I have absolutely no idea how much they cost.
I don't either.
That was the question I had, like,
My other concern is as they're solar powered, how much sunlight they would get on the
side.
library side.
Well, can't you turn the panel? I think you can.
Well, yeah,
adjust
but
the
if you
panel.
turn the, yeah, but I mean, no. They don't get a lot of usage, so. Okay,
There's a study we can request to see if.
is that we good there?
We're good,
So tabled until we can get further.
Table
information.
so we can get a quote.
so we can get a
Right.
quote.
Alright.
The only other thing is to put a cross guard there. Crossing guard. We used to volunteer for that stuff back in the day, stop traffic. But that's only doing.
Yeah, but I'd hate to be the guy that's responsible for a crossing guard getting flattened by a,
Fast
Ever
moving
see the
car
girl
doing
in St.
60 and
Albans?
30.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you.
well, we had them in
I get it.
Enosburg for a while and then they stopped them from being there.
I actually had somebody try to pass me on. I was doing 30, pass me on Main Street.
They is.
Bakersfield?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, happens all the time.
I just
Back.
scooted over to the left a little bit.
They're doing
Happens
that.
all the time.
They're doing that at
You can
Boston
get
Post.
They're quick.
They're doing that at the bottom of Boston
Straight
Post,
up.
turning onto the main drag.
Yeah,
You curve with the road the way you're supposed to. There's two cars. I see every, like one or the other, almost every
Oh,
morning I'm
I
there,
didn't get
They-
to.
come right off the side.
Michael Philippek. Good afternoon, Gary. I just had something come up and
Is
I
your
have to
mic
head
on?
out of the county.
Is your mic on?
Yes.
Thank you. Go ahead.
it's just
As
the,
it stands right now, I will miss the meeting. If possible, will you be able to
Okay.
share the minutes of the meeting, or I could call and we can catch up on topics in the morning. Sorry about the last minute conflict. I'll just invite him to the next meeting.
right into the next meeting,
Right.
please. Yep. Sorry, I know we're over the board tonight, but, visitors, just because we went back up there, just because it's under animal control. If you're on Facebook, you might have seen that, one of our townspeople was bitten by a dog.
Yes.
Where?
Has the dog been identified yet?
This is the little brown guy?
Yeah,
Do you need a copy of that?
you did get a copy.
I did.
I did ask them to send a copy. They contacted me. They were pretty certain they knew who the owner was per the other post on Facebook. They were pretty sure it was,
Franklin
yeah,
is missing.
the beagle mix.
That being the dog?
They thought it was, they were pretty sure. They asked me, this was Saturday morning. My suggestion was to call the owner because that owner would have a definite as to whether or not that dog has had its rabies shots.
Right.
And then today, call the town of residents to make sure it was on file. If not,
Where was this incident?
basically at the top of my parents' driveway,
But where?
top of my parents' driveway.
Okay, yeah.
It said Heights Hill, but I know she runs 108, so,
I had just seen her. She just ran by my house.
yeah.
But there is a dog in that area
Like a
that fits
little
the
brown
description
one?
too.
A little
Well,
brown
one
one?
individual on
Color.
Facebook, they were saying it
He's
was
been
their
running all
dog
the
and,
way
and they
down.
were like, no, that dog's been home all
All the way
day.
down past me.
Like.
Yeah, somebody accused another dog.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It wasn't that one.
So yeah, running on Route 108 when a dog approached, at the bottom of Heights Hill.
Cause now that dog is at Enosburg Vet.
Okay,
It was found
Quarantined.
in Grand Isle. And it's looking for the sweet dog's owner.
okay.
So it didn't sound like it was didn't sound like it was an aggressive dog.
So this is this dog?
They don't know.
Oh.
They're not sure. So, I told them, depending on what they had received for information. If there was any other questions or anything that they needed help with, we were gonna be here tonight.
Right.
If they didn't receive anything and they still needed to contact, don't hesitate to reach out to me and I would help them out any way I could.
Right.
As Chris is not,
Been trained or anything, right?
well, neither am I. You
Right.
know, I mean, that's the thing is none of us are for the state.
None of us are qualified to do it.
Yeah, I wonder maybe if you could tag the victim and see if that is the,
I called and got Chris an officer number from the
Okay.
state and I got a department number, believe it or not.
I mean,
That and
somebody
the
walked in
ticket
up to
books
this dog and.
so that he can issue tickets, but he doesn't know what he has the authority to do.
right,
Our Chris
Our Chris.
has to go Pittsburgh.
right.
He has to get training.
Well, he wanted to talk to you about that.
Yeah, he absolutely has to go to Pittsburgh, he has to go for training.
Pittsburgh
Pittsburgh,
Ford.
Ford,
Ford.
like a truck.
Yes.
Ford.
Pittsburgh.
Yep.
He's got to go to Pittsburgh for training. Before he can even write a citation, and it's two different training courses he has to take.
Well, I think he's willing to do that.
Yeah, so that's what has to happen before he can even pick up that ticket book.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give this back to you, Tammy, to file. Does anybody else want to look at that? I mean, we pretty much, we discussed everything already.
Yeah.
Can you hand that back to Tammy?
While we're on dogs real quick,
Yeah.
what's the end result with our legal eagle? Tammy?
Didn't we copy everybody on everybody?
You sent a
sent-
file that didn't have everything and then you
Well,
You resent it.
send it.
The whole file, he took out the legal information we got from the LCT. because
Right.
That wasn't pertinent, and he sent everything to the attorney.
All right, I haven't heard from him, so cool, but okay, thank you.
Yeah, at this point, it's between the lawyers.
Yeah,
You know, you decide what's pertinent and
yeah,
I'll decide what you
case
can and
on it.
can't have, basically. Yep. All right, I think that brings us down to board business. Holy, you know,
we finally hit it.
we can review mails off there. Warrants and reports are off
You can get
there.
rid of the quick ones if you want.
Yeah, that's what,
Ratification.
uh,
That's a quick one.
yep, ratification of contract. So the last meeting, we had that email that nobody could quite cipher what was being said in it. About appointing me or signing him or, remember that?
Yep.
Said read this and put it in the minutes.
Was one we went aside because it showed Josh's name as the point of contact.
And I said that I thought that was wrong and it should have gone to Lance.
Yeah.
So what this is actually, now that I have clarification, this is the one, remember back when it used to be Lance back in 2021 and we switched it to me? When we switched it to me, there was never any documentation saying that it had switched to me. So we are putting in documentation for September 13th, 2021, saying that I was given control at that point.
That's not quite true. We do have documentation. We have the agreement that was signed by the select board that agrees to have Josh, the sole representative, are able to sign contracts and documents representing the select board. However, it was not in the minutes.
With regards to this agreement.
Right.
So this should correct that. It's the ratification. I'll read it briefly here. The item of business under discussion is about the legality, validity, excuse me, and binding effect of the contract for administrative services between the town of Bakersfield and the Northwest Regional Planning Commission dated June 13th, 2022, but with an effective date of September 13th, 2021. Unfortunately, the board's minutes do not reflect a motion authorizing Joshua, select board chair, to sign this contract. Therefore, upon motion of and seconded by the members of the present select board hereby approve the following resolution. Be it resolved that Joshua J. Goss, Select Board Chair of the Town of Bakersfield, was authorized to enter into contract for administrative services on behalf of the Town of Bakersfield with the Northwest Regional Planning Commission dated June 13, 2022. Along with this is a similar document. Excuse me. With Dreher Design Group. Similarly, there was a discussion about the legality, validity, and binding effect of the contract for administrative services between the town of Bakersfield and Dreyer Design Group dated September 13th, 2021. Again, the select board minutes do not reflect the motion authorizing Josh, select board chair, to sign the contract. Therefore, upon motion of and seconded by the members of the present select board, hereby approve the following resolution. Be it resolved that Joshua J. Goss, select board chair of the town of Bakersfield, was authorized to enter into a contract of administrative services on behalf of the town of Bakersfield with, that is incorrect, Dreyer Design Group.
Damn, you writing all that down?
Mhm.
He's just gonna hand you this in a
He
minute.
he has a copy.
I've got it.
Strike that,
Yep. I'm
correct
fixing
that,
it.
please. Dated June 13th, 2022. And the contract is hereby ratified, signed select board town of Bakersfield.
So you need to make those motions tonight.
I do not have to make those motions. Anybody can. But
Well,
I will make the motions that both of these resolutions
So
uh,
Lance is making the motions.
be passed by the select board.
Okay,
Second,
I'll second those
John
motions.
is seconding them. And the vote is,
Joshua has to put it to a vote.
I was gonna say, motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any
I,
opposed?
so Joshua, did you?
I
vote?
abstained,
Okay.
as it is giving me rights.
Power.
Well, it's giving me power
That you already,
2 years ago
that you already gave up.
that I already gave up. Exactly.
Okay. Perfect.
And I will not sign that document either, as it is a conflict of interest.
Everybody is
There's a
correct.
quorum, there's a quorum,
This is gonna be in the minutes.
but there's a quorum, so it doesn't matter. They can sign it
So I
and.
need to go to
There you go.
Mike, like tomorrow,
Well, there you go.
Oh, good.
right?
I'll, you can send it out. Yes.
Mike from Dreyer, or Mike?
Minutes aren't gonna be done
Gone.
tomorrow.
My God.
Yeah.
Our lawyer?
Minutes aren't gonna be done by.
I don't sign.
Watch.
No, I thought you said John.
As soon as the minutes are done, a copy of the minutes plus that document,
Right.
And we're good to go.
and we're good to go.
Yeah, all right.
He's
No
already-
visitors, nobody
All
showed
I
up.
need is
They
the
didn't care to
minutes.
see us.
All right. The
Minutes are-
second thing is a revised contract.
This would be Article C.
Did we already go past RDAG?
Not yet.
discussion?
We haven't got there. We're,
It's a
We're doing
Vermont
quick
Community
first.
Development Program contract for administrative services program management agreement between the town of Bakersfield, Northwest Regional Planning Commission. Project 07110 PG 2020 Bakersfield 14. Original date, agreement dated September 13th, 2021. First amendment effective July 1, 2023. The amendment to the original agreement is made this September 18th. By and between the town of Bakersfield, yada, yada, yada. Terms of contract, all services to be performed hereunder shall commence immediately and shall continue through 6/30/2023.
mm,
We already did June 30th,
What,
twenty
what is
twenty-three.
that one? I need a copy of that, Lance.
yes, it's
You
the,
have a copy of that one.
Could be twenty
You
twenty-four.
gave me that?
I agree.
Oh, okay, got it, got it. So term of
No.
contract is through 2024?
No,
End of this
2023. That's the original contract.
Okay, got it, got it.
This is an extension.
Did you change? a
Of the
date on
contract.
this?
No. This is the term of the original contract goes through June 30th, 2023. Term of this amended contract goes through 12/31/2023, which is the end of the
Right,
this month.
right.
Okay?
Yep.
So I am authorized to sign this. Uh, 27th.
I believe it's
it is the
27th,
27th,
all day.
couple more hours.
Love it.
And that'll go in and be signed by a representative of the Northwest Regional Planning Commission.
So do you have do I mail that to them? Or are you doing that?
I can send that out.
Okay,
Or it can go out to Northwest tomorrow to attention Kathy LaVoy.
and
Oh,
you're
she was
gonna
here
do
last,
that.
last meeting.
You're gonna
No.
do that?
That wasn't Kathy, who was here last meeting?
You're gonna send.
I'll
that
be
to
here
Kathy?
tomorrow. I'll be here in the morning.
I'm sorry, Catherine Dimitrick was here last meeting. I know it was a Kathy.
Merp,
Merp, no update.
I like that. Okay, Brigham Academy, or do you want to do RDAG first?
Brigham Academy,
Brigham update, there is
that meeting
no new information. There's a meeting,
next time.
next, December 11th at 6 o'clock information.
Which I warned at the last meeting.
Yep.
Correct, and I moved the current recording to start at 6 PM, not 7, so that we can.
Perfect.
Excellent.
Going to be my request to you tonight. Thank you.
I'm not sure how to break the two apart, but we'll figure that out. Because we're gonna have a select
you
board
just-
meeting after.
I don't think you
Think if I
just
stop
continue,
it.
just
Yeah.
continue.
Well, if I stop it and then restart the.
It'll be a
it should go.
different recording.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
Down to A.
Down to A, yes.
Talk about the Stagecoach Road thing?
No, Todd's not here.
Oh, okay, got it.
Tabled.
Todd's lead on that.
Okay.
Do you have an update on the RDAG information?
That's you, Lance.
No update on Brigham.
We'll swap that with you
Okay.
because that is.
What do you want?
Oh, well,
We
that's
gotta make a
the mo-
motion for that.
I
That is.
think so, but
Original.
Oh, okay.
This would take
I
time.
wrote on that one.
Yeah, wrote on that.
Yeah.
That's all right. I'll
That's
take
not
it.
bad.
I'll resign it tomorrow. Just remind me, you're gonna be here.
okay.
I'm here.
And then the signs are what, probably another 300?
Since I'm the only signature on that, it doesn't make a difference. I'll just
Perfect.
rewrite it tomorrow.
Perfect.
Depends, yeah.
Workspace would probably be a good place for Tammy to call.
Okay.
I don't.
Yep.
think that's for sure, but-
Okay.
Are they-
Yeah.
I'm curious as to why this falls to me.
I'm sorry, you have
We gave
that.
it to you because you didn't show up last time, so we gave you it.
Thank you, thank you.
No,
To you, you're the one that requested the documents.
I requested that Tammy have a copy of the mortgage agreement.
I just asked that if you had the information. I mean, I can go over it if you want.
No, I've got the information.
Is that-
I have yet to find a place, unfortunately, for Mr. Gahn, where it lays the cost of litigation.
It's in the email to them. It's not.
It's
built
in an email. It's not in the signed mortgage deed.
No, it is not.
So Mr. Gahn failed to put it in the verbiage for the mortgage deed that the burden of the legal cost would be upon the,
Now. do
Mortgagee.
you have a copy of the signed mortgage deed, Lance?
mortgagor,
Yes.
mortgagee, I
Got it.
believe is the correct term.
he needs to put it in there
We should have had that on file.
without it displaying who's responsible.
It never got
What
recorded.
First off, what's this in regards to?
All right, RDAG is the Rural Development and Growth Corporation. It was
Now, this is
originally a
not
grant
executive
that
session,
was
correct?
given to the town of Bakersfield for the development and growth of business in the town in,
Lance,
yes.
before we mention any names, should this be a?
I haven't
exec-
mentioned any
I know,
names yet.
I know. I'm saying before we get to that point, should it go to executive?
It's a matter of public record.
Okay, it is public fund.
Um,
Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, me too.
Sorry.
I'm just trying to give John a background because he is now a member of the RDAG committee.
And what is?
A committee was,
Again,
He's telling you right now.
I know, but he went on. I missed it.
That's because he,
A,
yes, because he hasn't,
Rural development
and growth.
and growth, okay. Oh,
That's it?
Yeah, where was I?
we don't know.
Can anybody help me with the date, Terry? Wolf Run.
Okay, Wolf Run.
early eighties.
Early eighties. In the early eighties, the town was granted, was given a grant to help with development and growth of business in
Not
town.
early eighties.
Yeah.
So
Before
let's
my
just,
time.
let's just finish it up. Go ahead, Lee.
It was in the it was after I came back from Alaska, so late 80s, Josh. it was after I came back from Alaska, so late eighties,
Okay.
late
Okay.
eighties, early nineties.
Yeah.
Big guy.
Okay.
Sorry.
I just
We were
wasn't-
pregnant for Jared and Johanna, your mother. and
I
I.
don't know, 88. The first applicant was
I got all
Wolf
that.
Run.
She's
Wolf
like-
Run took the bulk of the money and reneged.
Okay,
But there is there are some funds left, and through the years. Since it is not a very active. Grant, it has been used occasionally through the years. James Curtis and his wife Holly have applied. And were granted a grant. For instance, they are the only current active. Yeah, they're the only current ones that have a loan out from RDAG. RDAG is designed to be a low interest lending agency for new businesses and specifically for the town of Bakersfield. I'd have to look it up. I don't know what's in it right now. I think it's around 25,000. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that.
So wait.
So,
saying when Wolf Run-
eventually-
Wolf Run didn't pay it back.
Right.
eventually the original.
Could do to get it back.
Eventually, the original committee members faded away. And the select board took over as the RDAG committee. And
How come they
the
couldn't?
de facto chair is the chair of the select board. And the other members of the select board are members of the RDAG committee, along with, I still believe, Larry Krieger is a member.
Mhm.
Okay, so there are 6 members of the RDAG committee. Now, current business, James Curtis and Holly Curtis applied and were granted a loan. What you're looking at is the verbiage written up by Mike Gahn for the mortgage agreement. The interest, I think you were asking as an aside, is
I was
prime
asking-
plus 1.
You said that Wolf Run did this loan.
Wolfland reneged, we lost that money
How could you lose it?
because we're listed as second mortgagee, a mortgager. And they only had enough money to pay back people's trust.
So when they went bankrupt, the initial mortgage gets paid off. If
Oh,
there's any
because
left,
They had gone bankrupt up there.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what happened to Wolf Run. Anyhow.
So
It
what
has
do you-
traditionally been written in the mortgage and the trustees. Also deal with Mr. Gahn in lending money and in those. Mortgages, it is written that the legal costs shall be borne by the mortgagees, the people borrowing the money.
right.
In this mortgage,
Mortgagers.
there is no such verbiage.
Well, wait a minute. The note holder may exercise this option to accelerate.
What do
where
we
did I
do to
just read that?
protect
If-
ourselves from that happening again?
If the suit is brought to collect this note, the note holder shall be entitled to collect all reasonable costs and expenses of suit, including but not limited to reasonable attorney fees.
Yes, but that's only if they
That's
fail
only
to
if
pay
they
the
fail.
mortgage.
Right.
That's not the original legal fees. And that's,
Oh, you're.
and that is what Mike Gahn is
writing up
Okay.
this
looking for
contract.
payment on right now. He's looking for payment for writing that mortgage.
Oh,
And they were the ones who were supposed to pay for the right of the mortgage?
Well,
writing of
we
the
didn't
mortgage?
put-
Anytime anybody borrows money from any lending institute, it is the responsibility of the mortgagee to pay the
Mortgagor.
legal fees.
Right.
The mortgagor is the borrower. You're the mortgagee.
No mortgage,
That's asked backwards.
Yeah, it is true.
is it? Okay, I've got it backwards then. I apologize.
so we're
Just the-
Holly and
Yes,
Holly and
Jamie,
Jamie to pay for this.
right.
And they're saying what?
They're
It's
not
in
saying,
the package.
they're
It's
not.
not in the legal agreement.
Well, that's, no offense to Mike, he did a poor job.
I agree.
I guess it sucks for Mike.
I agree. It is Mike's responsibility to go after this. It's not a lot of money. It's 1,170, is that correct?
Yes.
Cost him more to chase it than just to write it off as a loss.
But I'm sorry to say that I think Mike missed a note there.
Maybe you
Yep.
can put it with my file.
Yeah.
So what, I guess my question would be is what is our? This is nothing out of our pocket and it's nothing coming to us. So what is our, he's just simply asking,
We're not gonna pay
Uh,
it.
it just basically says that. He sent the bill and it was sent back to him.
Yeah, and he knows better than to ask us for it.
Yeah,
So
so I don't know what, so I mean, he's asking us to help him.
It is,
correct?
no, it's his responsibility.
Right, but he's asking us to help him.
He's not asking anything. He's making a statement.
Okay.
Cause he sent.
That
an
there's no
email,
request there as far as I can see.
Only
there's-
the email.
There's just, is he still in Bakersfield and does he still owe you money?
Yes, and yes.
Yes and yes.
And the other question he should have asked, which would have left an opening, is he current on his payments? And the question to that is yes, too. So
Correct,
that does not leave Mr. Gahn an opening to go after legal fees.
right.
Because if they were late,
Oh, my God.
wait a minute.
He's saying $1,100 just to write up what John has in his hand?
Yes.
it's
I love
getting
money.
bad there. It's getting real bad.
So
And there's no,
was there payments made post 2020? Cause I don't see.
Payments are made.
post- Okay,
He
'cause
he
it's-
makes
Post-
annual
no,
payments.
post 2020, no,
No,
no, he's only had that for 3 years.
So he paid 18, he
He-
paid 19, he
I,
paid
I've
20.
checked with Vera. He's up to date on his
He's
payment.
current.
Right. What he's saying is how long is the loan been in?
Oh, I'm sorry.
2018.
Yeah.
I can see where the
No,
original loan,
No, there's two loans.
Mhm.
right, the original loan started in September of 2018.
Yes.
And then they went back and it just said, on his paperwork, he doesn't have a date, he just says add new loan. in The
Yes.
amount. which I'll
I'll
just
put
leave
that in
there.
that file.
So I'm not a lawyer. I am, but I'm not.
Play one on TV.
That's a
It
class.
is my opinion that it is Mike's responsibility to go after this, not ours.
It's not our
Yeah.
money.
We have no,
I didn't see an invoice from Mike Gahn about it in the first place.
there isn't an invoice. There's just a statement.
Yeah, I think,
File it with the loan paper.
But it's really nothing to us.
I don't believe so.
If he
Okay.
wants to go further with it, he'll have to contact us.
No, we don't have to contact them. It's nothing to do with us.
No,
So-
that's what I'm saying.
Well,
Right,
If
cause
he
he
wants to
only
go further
notified
with
them
it,
by
says-
email of their charge.
so
right, but what they're gonna ask is where does it say we have to pay this fee? There is no
Yes,
place.
I mean, here, the
Okay,
problem
you
is it's not
probably read
dated.
the mortgage loan for the Historical Society. It's plainly written in that
I don't.
that the
remember.
legal fees,
I've
the
read that.
fees for writing the documents are a responsibility of the people borrowing the money. I'm gonna avoid saying mortgagee, mortgager, whatever.
Mortgagor, the mortgagor is the borrower.
Mortgagor.
That's how I remember.
No, no.
How have they remembered?
Mortgagor is the borrower
Okay,
and the mortgagee is the one that borrowed, that lend them the money.
So, long story short. This is an issue between Mr. Gahn and
Jamie Curtis.
The Curtises.
between the Curtises, right? And not even really because he didn't document it and
I don't believe he's got,
So so this is the email you're talking about, the letter? Right?
Unless he's been sending,
I don't know who did that.
unless he's been sending bills to them and they haven't been doing anything about it.
Well,
And
he
he's
sent an
saying,
email
are
to
they?
them like in 21, saying they were responsible for the legal.
Okay,
Makes you wonder when this went out.
Oh, he did?
Yeah,
um,
it's in the
Oh.
packet.
question.
Dated.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
different then.
Can you do a little bit more research? go back to September of
2020.
2020, or go back to the original loan, wherever that was.
The second or the first?
What do you mean?
There's two loans.
There's two
Right.
loans.
There's one in 2018 that started in
And
September,
look up and get a copy of that and see what the wording is in that.
Can,
and then there's one in September 1st, 2020.
It's still Mike's responsibility to go after it.
Right, it's not.
I'm surprised that we would let two loans go to the same person when one loan is.
He's never, his credit rating is good. He's
It
never
was-
missed a payment.
It was an
No,
extension.
I'm just saying, whether they're good or bad, I'm just surprised.
You were here. He had to go through the process.
I don't think it was.
You weren't here?
I think it was just before she got on.
Okay, they had a good plan. They had to have a business plan.
No, I'm not.
They had to explain what the
I'm just
expenses
saying,
were.
overall, I'm surprised that
Yeah,
we would do
spread it
two
out.
to the same person
So what it was,
versus.
If nobody
So-
else is applying,
it was,
and it wasn't a huge loan.
it was, the second one wasn't, I think. It was an
I don't think anyone
expansion.
really knows much about them. I didn't.
It was an expansion loan.
Okay.
So what it was is they had taken out X number of dollars for their initial setup and equipment fees for their sugaring operation.
Mm-hmm.
And then came across a lease and needed less than what they had paid back in those 3 years to expand. They came in with the business plan, the payback option, or the payback plan, everything laid out. It was a sound financial decision
Yes, it was.
on the board's part. You know, there was, we're making the interest back
Right.
on the loan. There was no issues.
I know what a good businessman he is.
Yeah. So there was no, I mean,
I'm just surprised that we allow one
Nothing's
person,
wrong except.
whoever it is,
Right.
two draws off. of
Yeah.
it Versus the one.
Just asked to go to executive session for just a couple moments, please.
you can.
Make
And
a motion to go to executive session.
Your
To
reason?
say what for?
It's regarding this documentation and some verbiage in it that I'd like to discuss with the board.
Okay.
All right.
Needs-
are we good?
needs a second.
Entering exec at 8:13.
I'll second that.
Second.
Oh, who?
motion's been made by John, seconded by Lance. Stop talking and listen.
I know.
Made by John, seconded by Lance. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
I.
Any
To
opposed?
shut your.
I make a motion that we exit executive session with no decisions made.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded by John, seconded by Lance. To come out of executive session. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Keep it Tammy awake.
Yeah, I know. Well, this one does, this does need to be accepted, correct?
What's that?
Before,
This is, it's in essence giving us their buildings as a
collateral,
collateral.
yes.
Right, so.
Right.
Mortgage is
all right.
well covered.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay. I will read it to you. Bakersfield Select Board and Cemetery Commission. For personal reasons, I am resigning my position on the Cemetery Commission on 11/20/23. Thank you for past, future support of Maple Grove Cemetery. Harmon Mayo.
I'll make a motion that we regrettably accept Harmon Mayo's stepping down from the cemetery commission.
Is there a second?
I'll second it. I will second that motion.
Motion has been made and seconded to accept Harmon Mayo's resignation from the Cemetery Commission. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Hey, do we just have to put a period on A or are we good? We're just saying we're done with that
We're
discussion.
done with that. That is not our battle to fight.
That's right. Okay.
Sorry.
Uh,
Any others?
I have one. Should make the motion. We adjourn. Other.
Boy, that's
Other.
the best other I've heard. Except for nobody's gonna second it here.
Your question on the warrants was answered, Terry?
Yeah, yeah. She's
Anybody
gonna,
second that motion that we can leave.
Tammy put a note on.
For future. John has made a motion to adjourn. Does anybody want to second said motion?
We're gonna get our dates and times from her. Oh, she's
Oh my
gonna call,
God.
she's gonna call.
You never complain about me again.
I did.
Okay, I didn't hear you. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Have a good night. Whoa, I didn't hear you second.